Good morning, everyone. First things first, audio test. Good morning, everyone. And we are good. Nice. How is everyone doing? Welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day, and this is the man that we call Bibby.
Hello. Very energetic performance there, Graham.
Yeah, well, there you go. I was excited. It's the for those that may have tuned into Bibby's Pez 3 stream yesterday, they were talking about Pez soundtrack songs, and Michael Tello's I Shoot to Pego is a song from, I said Pez 2014, it's Pez 2013 actually. Anyway, I mentioned it yesterday, accidentally made the mistake of Googling it, and now it's stuck in my head. So in the build up to the show today, I've just been Enix Asim voce me mata, I shoot to pego, I shoot to pego, delicia, Asim voveti ma. Okay, there we go. Disco lights and everything.
I've been practicing that all night. I've got so many voice notes.
Not even practicing. Practicing is something that you want to do. This is something that is there and I can't control anymore. Can't turn it off. Make it stop. But anyway, welcome in. My name is Graham, as mentioned, and this is Bib, and welcome to Carpool Karaoke. No, it's not. It's the scoop. So we are Ice Cream Uploads, and in ice creamy fashion, this is the scoop, the UK's #1 video game karaoke podcast. There's no karaoke. That's the end of the singing. I apologise. We don't inflict that on anyone, usually. Anyway, we are here, though, to give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best breaking stories from the world of video games and beyond, and we want to give you those right now, live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, where we do that each and every single day, live at 10 a.m. on the money. Ish. A little bit better today. It's 10:39. We do say 10 a.m.-ish, so we'll take that. Anyway, we do go live at 10 a.m.-ish each and every single weekday on Twitch, but then we turn that live stream into a podcast, a video for YouTube, youtube.com/Ice Cream Uploads, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, and that, there you go. That's all for nice. Nailed it today. Missed one yesterday, got it around, but yeah, way. Anyway, if you are in the chat, I can see you're already doing it already. Please feel free to use your voices in the chat. Speak up. Give us your thoughts and impressions. Like I said, we're going to give you our thoughts and impressions on those stories. We want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. And it's important that you do get involved, because those on-demand listeners, the ones that are listening to the podcast and watching the video on YouTube, don't get to speak to us right now live in the chat. So you can do that on behalf of them. A quick note to mention, ! Loot drop, and chatbot is open, just checking. Nice. That was won yesterday by Mr. Gary Clark, who bagged himself an ICU piece of merch of his choice from our Gamers Apparel store, and he chose one of these. Gary chose his own ICU esports jersey. He didn't go for the naming. Oh, he did actually. He wanted the word plane on the back for some reason. I don't understand, but there we go. He's getting that. So in the process of setting that up with Gamers Apparel, so I will grab your address off you at some point pretty soon, Mr. Clark, once all that's sorted. But no, it's congratulations. Just a reminder, the loot drop is a giveaway that we do every month. The first Monday of the month, we give a prize away. Last month's was a game of your choice. This month, ICU merch. Next month, who knows? But if you're a sub on the first Monday of the month, which will be... once again, the first, because it's obviously 28-day month. So the first of... March, we will do another giveaway then, and someone will bag another prize, as long as they are a sub on that day. Nice. Bib!
Did Beans actually work? Did Beans actually win first, or was you just winding him up?
It was Beans that wrote it.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I was just glancing through my phone, because my phone was going, it's obviously when someone posts something in our Discord, my phone goes off. So I looked at it, and I was like, so Beans has won, but... Graham's announcing Gary as the winner. What the fuck's going on here? Then I put my phone down. I was meant to check it later on in the evening, and I just thought, have we just robbed Beans?
yeah. Beans has got one.
Fucking. You can't have another one.
I mean, you paid for your own, but yeah, that's it. Get out of here. No, Beans was like, and I was like, and the winner is. And Beans wrote, Beans, yay! So he jumped in with his own name. Imagine if it had have been Beans after that.
Great style.
Let's jump back. Chappers, good morning, Chappers, says Bethesda dead. You've seen our lead story today. The lead story is, that was a little bit clickbaity, but you know what, it worked, it got you all in here. We're looking at whether the Microsoft Bethesda deal will go ahead. You were actually looking at it, not us, but we will look at them looking at it shortly in the first article of the day. Chapper says, I have to get my bad jokes out in the intro so no one clowns me halfway through the show. It'll happen anyway, it's fine. C. Thistle says, hi, good morning, welcome in, and thank you for the follow as well 6 minutes ago. How are you doing? I hope you're comfortable. Grab yourself a brew. We're going to be sat here talking about the video games industry, news, and whatever takes our fancy for the next hour or so. So grab yourself a brew if you haven't already. Fatman Dave says, whenever I see that channel promo, all I think is why is Wednesday Addams in it? Ah, the one with the ponytails. Yeah. I did think that as well, to be fair. Mr. Gary Clark himself, the winner, is in the chat. Says, morning, lads. Cool Lance here with a let's go. Cheers, dude.
Hey.
Max saying, lads. Gagad's here.
Hey, get to school, you.
Is that school? That's the thing. Gagad says, good morning. I've got that one.
It is, but...
where did I get to? I was scrolling. It keeps jumping. There we go. Callum, there we go. Mr. Bearded Edge himself says, good morning. Chappers says, I sent Sutipego to my cousin who absolutely adored PES 2014 and all. It's 2013. I got it wrong. But it's an absolute banger of a tune. It is. So is this. Gary's saying, football, soccer. Football, soccer. Football, soccer. All around the world.
All around the world.
11-ish would be more accurate. It's 10:44, so technically it's 10-ish. Yeah. Although 11 would still be 10-ish, because the closest thing to 10 is 11. So that's ish. That's the logic we've got, and we're sticking with it. Nobody pick it apart. It's okay. It's fine. Good morning, Lake. Welcome in. Enix as well, and Mad just clipped the Disco Lights dancing song. Oh, do you know? I have to see this. I apologise, but I want to see what you guys have seen. There we go. Okay, let's have a. Well, that's an amazing look to begin with. Today I've just been.
I was going to say, it's very anticlimactic.
Asim voce me mata, ai su ti pego, ai su ti pego, delícia, Asim voce. Okay, there we go. Well, there you go. The things that you do when you're live on the internet. There you go, folks. Cheers for the clip match. Andre123, welcome in. How are you doing? Enix redeemed Disco Lights as well. Let's have some more Disco Lights.
Why not? You can never have enough.
Nico's here as well. Morning, boys. Just lurking while working. It's called not working. Network not working. Networking not working.
Lurking while working. That is the new tagline. Thank you very much, Nico. You're getting fuck all royalties for that.
Exclamation mark lurk in the chat, Nico. Just saying. Exclamation mark lurk. Changing the lights back to normal so we're not sat in a red boudoir. There we go. Andre says,
just tried something.
He is airing my chat. How you doing, bro? Welcome in. Do you know what? People get aired pretty often on this. We tend to have big periods where we don't read the chat and then we jump back and we try to catch up with everyone. So yeah. Anyway, let's jump into some news. The first news story of the day is obviously looking at Microsoft and Bethesda and how the EU could have a deciding say on that. I need to get rid of my Disco Light dancing video off the screen. That's messed me up. And let's jump into this. The first news story of the day, written by Andy Robinson at VGC, says the EU will decide if Microsoft's Bethesda deal can go ahead by March the 5th. Antitrust regulators can clear the deal or open a full-scale investigation. So the European Union's antitrust regulators even will rule over Microsoft's proposed. My God, I'm going to start this again. Put my teeth back in. There we go. The European Union's antitrust regulators will rule over Microsoft's proposed $7.5 billion acquisition of ZeniMax after the company requested approval for the deal. As reported by Reuters, the EU will decide by March the 5th whether to clear the acquisition, which would see the Xbox firm gain ownership of games publisher Bethesda and its many franchises including Fallout, The Elder Scrolls, Bibby's Massive Collection, and Doom. The EU can clear the deal with or without concessions during its preliminary review, or it can open up a full-scale investigation if it has major concerns. The European Union's competition law is the most influential in the world, alongside the United States on antitrust regulations. Competition law seeks to maintain market competition by regulating anti-competitive conduct by companies. In the case of mergers and acquisitions, regulators can prohibit deals which are considered to threaten market competition or suggest remedies, such as an obligation to divest part of the new business. In the last decade, the EU blocked a proposed merger between Dutch logistics company TNT and American rival UPS, as well as the proposed takeover of Aer Lingus by Ryanair. Microsoft announced its intention to acquire ZeniMax Media and its game publisher Bethesda Softworks for $7.5 billion in September last year, with the deal expected to be completed in early 2021. Microsoft's acquisition of ZeniMax Media will see Xbox Game Studios grow from 15 to 23 development teams. Do you know, don't need to go into all of the other details. Basically, they have a lot of studios, a lot of staff jobs, good noise. The EU, though, has a very important say on whether that can go ahead. Do you see any issues with this, Bib?
This is actually something that I said yesterday, I think, saying that have they actually closed the deal, because I hadn't seen anything to say that it was all suggestion, it wasn't even speculation. They've obviously tabled the bid, and we're just assuming at this point that everything's gone through. I hadn't seen anything that had been confirmed. However, this obviously says that they've got until the 5th of March to get the deal over the line, but it's not just a case of transferring money from one account to the other. You have to go through all the regulations, which I had absolutely no idea about. I'm not really into the finance world, as per me trying to explain to you and everybody else in the chat last week about stocks. But yeah, it's I can't see this being that much of a problem. However, the biggest part out of this is, will it monopolize it? Which you could argue probably it may do. But if it monopolizes it, I think they'd have to weigh up the pros and cons of that, whether or not it will benefit everybody to have them underneath one particular umbrella or not. I can't see there being a problem with this. But what do I know about finance? Zero. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this all plays out, because if they don't get if the acquisition doesn't go through, does that then mean that other companies can't buy other companies or trying to inherit them? What's the difference between PlayStation trying to do this and Xbox? In fact, to take away the console side of it, give an example in there about Aer Lingus and who was the other one?
Ryanair.
Ryanair. Yeah, so obviously they're to flight. What the fuck? They're to airplane holiday companies, travel companies. That's what we're going for. They're two travel companies. I was trying to find the word for it. I couldn't think of it. They're two travel companies. So take the video games part out of it. Trying to monopolize it. I don't know. They're two massive companies, Aer Lingus and Ryanair. They are this side of Europe anyway. So if they can't do it with those, what makes them think that they can do it with?
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting, because I would not see any issues with Microsoft buying ZeniMax Media and Bethesda Game Studios, because they're buying more studios, but there are still a shitload of studios out there. The issue with antitrust and monopoly competition laws are basically, if someone owns such a large amount of something that they can price fix, and we've had it very local to us in Manchester. Odeon Cinemas pretty much owned every cinema around. The Printworks in Manchester, Trafford Centre, Salford Quays, kind of everything was Odeon. So they had to give some of those up. So I think the one in town's turned into a View Cinema, and maybe so's the one on Salford Quays as well, because they had too many in such a small area that they could go, that's it now, the price of the cinema has gone from £5 to £25, and if you don't like it, tough. And that's Pirates, the UK champ. Shout to number one Pirate. Not only has he achieved the incredible, yes, that is right, ladies and gentlemen, he is an admin mod on this channel. But as well as that, he's qualified for PES events. Nice.
Well, shout out to you and Ozzy again.
So yeah, Pirate, shout out to number one Pirate and Mr. Osman Idris, aka is it UK MVP? Is that his
Yeah.
Twitter name? Or Osiris, or Osiris Returns, or all of the names that Oz has had over the last 7,000 years of PES competitions. Congratulations, and hope you guys absolutely tear shit up. Representing the UK at the PES. I mean, what do we even call it now? Is it still the Euros? Is it not? I don't know anymore. But the PES events that are coming. Nice. And speaking of PES Legends, can you hear that noise rumbling in the distance? Oh, P3. Oh, P3.
Let's talk about a different PES legend. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Jagger.
Welcome in. Massively distracted. Can't remember what we were talking about then. Oh yeah, that was it. Antitrust laws. As I'm saying that, Max Layton has followed. Thank you very much, Max, for the follow. Yeah, the bit we're talking about was competition. We're talking about whether Microsoft's Bethesda takeover can go ahead, and can the EU squash that. And the example I was giving was Odeon cinemas, on a very local level, had all of the cinemas in my local areas, so they were forced to give up some. So two of the three that are really local to me are now not Odeon cinemas because they could have price hiked, whereas Microsoft and Bethesda can't quite do that. I mean, they can. They're the only ones that can sell you. Madge, thank you for the host as well, you beautiful guy. They're the only ones that can sell you Doom and Elder Scrolls, but technically that's not competition because that's a video game, and then there are other video games out there, so I'm not sure if this will get blocked. That said, the example that Bibby called out from the article that they gave, where the EU antitrust regulators have stopped things before, Ryanair and Aer Lingus aren't the only travel operators in Europe. But is it because Ryanair and Aer Lingus were two Irish-based companies? Is that what it is? Were they the two operators running out of Ireland? So if Ryanair took over Aer Lingus... I mean, I don't know enough about travel operators. Are there more Irish firms? I don't know. Maybe they were just too much of a controlling state.
But you see, it's weird that, though, because the likes of Monarch and Thomas Cook... I know Thomas Cook was German-based, wasn't it? But those like Monarch and Thomas Cook, you'd think they were too big to fail. So you got Aer Lingus and Ryanair, that they're not the biggest in the world. I mean, Ryanair is pretty big if you want your £9.50 flights. But you think
I mean, no room for your legs, but £9.50.
But you think Thomas Cook and Monarch were too big to fail. So you think if someone was trying to inherit or take them over, that they would have been allowed, but they didn't, and then ended up going to administration, failing. Thomas Cook has obviously since come back and become an online only travel company without the airplanes because they had to sort of sell them off. But that it's just another one of those things. Like, can you think that this wouldn't go through with those examples being listed? It's a very you think that this would go through, but stranger things has happened is the words I'm trying to find. Yeah.
I mean, let's jump back into the chat and get some extra thoughts and opinions. Feel free to use your voice in the chat if you are new here, by the way. Maybe they look at it as a bit of a monopoly in some regards. I disagree with that, but we all know how some of these agencies think, said Gary. Enix says, probably due to the size and money of the takeover, they projected it was March when the deal is fully signed, when they first announced it. So it says Microsoft and ZeniMax said. Good morning, Mr. Gatekeeper TV, Chief Colourer Innerer at Ice Cream Uploads, the guy that created every little bit of branding that you can see on the screen. GG, Craig, welcome in. Good morning, good morning. Salford Keys is AMC. Is it? No, Salford Keys is View. Salford Lara Review. That's the one I used. Nice. Yep, 2 years in a row, Euros 2021. Well, I expected to kick ass today, this year. I mean, obviously, hopefully we get a favourable group this year, but there you go, nice. Gary says, similar with Disney and Fox, the Disney and Fox deal, that was investigated for potentially becoming a monopoly, which it wasn't, but it looks like Disney won't be able to buy any other media companies because of the size of that deal. I think the size of the deal is probably what is giving this... The media column inches is the reason we're talking about it now. I mean, Disney taking over Lucasfilm, $4.2 billion. Microsoft taking over ZeniMax, $7.5 billion. The fact that it's such a huge thing, and obviously it's big for the games industry, means it commands conversation.
The caliber of games, though.
Yeah, exactly.
The caliber of games that are in that list, they're not just like indie titles. They are video games. Like Doom is the godfather of video games.
The birthplace of multiplayer. Fallout, a huge game, and then you get like tiny indie titles like Elder Scrolls as well.
Wanker.
I love the wanker. Nice. Yeah, it's the size of it. We'll just we'll put it as like a megabit milestone. £10 of bits. Wanker. Morning, folks, says West. Good morning, dude.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, I don't see there being an issue. I mean, it's nice to have a conversation around it and nice to start like chewing the fat in terms of if it doesn't go through, what does that mean? Is that let's play devil's advocate then. Let's say we've lost Bib. Bye, Bib. I don't know where he's gone. He kind of disappeared and came back. No, he didn't. I don't know. Okay, we'll get him back. Let's play devil's advocate. If Microsoft lose out on this deal, is that egg on the face of Microsoft? That's the question that I want to know. That's the question I want to ask Bib. But as you can see, he ain't there. It's all right. One man scoop. Never mind. We'll bin him off. Let's carry on going through the chat. Morning West, says Madge. Howdy, Madge. It says West. That's a nice exchange. Mr. Gary Clark, chat has just gone off the screen. Ryanair should be closed down for even thinking about charging £1 to use the piss. What? Is that a thing? Do Ryanair actually charge you to use the quid? Oh my God. Do they charge you a quid to use the facilities? Is that actually the thing? Okay, can't join me. Hello? Hello? Okay, leave the call. Okay, apps. Try again. Start video call. Or not. I'll read. This is well bizarre. Okay, looks like we've lost Bib. Do you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to... Bear with me one sec. I am going to kill Discord entirely. Because it's just connecting. It looks like Discord's servers have shit itself. Or at least my Discord account has shit itself. Bop. Bop. Okay, let's quick check. Whew! Anyway, let me jump back up. Try to multitask. So, do Ryanair actually charge you a quid to use the toilet on the plane? I remember getting the train down to London I can't remember what I was going down for. I was going down for a meeting, and I remember hitting London Euston, and connecting but not connecting. I remember hitting London Euston and being charged like 30p or 60p to use the toilet or something, and that was gut wrenching. I don't know what's happening with this. My God. He got upset you called Elder Scrolls an indie game, Cap. Well, you know, sometimes the truth just got to be... Well, you can hear all the noises. I don't think we're getting Bibby back. I think we're dolloping for the rest of the show. While that is happening, let me just go back to this. Just so that there's less on-screen real estate kind of thing. Let's kill the video feed. Boop. Okay, jumping back through the chat. Don't worry, Bibby is just sitting in the dark. He's there. He just has the lights off. Okay, Discord just is not enjoying life for me. Let me see if I can jump into a different chat. I think it's my Discord. I don't think it's Bib. I think it's my Discord. It's just connecting, trying to jump into anything. It's the professionalism I watch this show for. You goddamn right. You goddamn right. Too much ice cream, not enough sauce. Pirate redeemed disco lights. It's all going on. Everything's going on. They were going to call it spend a pound to save a penny, or at least that's how it was covered in the news a few years back. Seriously, that is ridiculous. I think Discord has taken as shit as it says you're offline. I mean, I'm marked as offline anyway, just because I'm on stream, and I usually... So like, I've turned it online now. But... It's just connecting to the calls isn't actually working. It's not gonna work. Do you know what? I will just continue solo then, because it's taken a while. So we probably had 5 minutes-ish. Change call region? How the hell do you do that? I don't know how to do that. So yes. Actually, 1 second. Settings. Log out. Log out. Log in. Discord. Yes, log me in. Okay.
Thank you for the ice cream.
It's on the call. You can change it on our view panel. Can you really? Oh yeah, region, US Central. Okay, that's potentially it. Europe! Give me that one. Nope. Join the call. Nope. Do you know what? I will leave it at that. I will leave that to try, leave that to do its thing. I will just continue with the news, because if not, we're going to have like a 45-minute gap in the middle of the scoop where I'm just sat there looking off screen, tinkering with buttons. So we'll leave it at that. Sorry, babe. Get out of here. That's what you get for calling me a wanker. Let me move my mic. Graham's done this on purpose. It's a coup. You were using US. Wow. I don't know why. I mean, I never have done before. It's just defaulted back to US West again. It's West's fault. That's what it is. It's us West. Get Bibby to make the call. I mean, he has done. Bibby's just done it. Oh no, I changed it. I keep changing it. Oh, okay. Let me jump back in again then. I keep changing it. Trying here. Yeah, no worries. I'll leave the call on then. I'll jump back in. Was there any more comments on the Microsoft Bethesda deal? Did I miss anything before we started talking about the text shit falling to bits? Let's play devil's advocate and get rid of Bib. I can't remember what was I playing devil's advocate for. What was I saying? I can't remember now. It was Microsoft. Oh yeah, that was it. Let's say Microsoft lose the deal. If the European Union say that Microsoft have too much control, too much power, too many brands, and squash it as they did with the Aer Lingus and Ryanair deal, I mean that's arguably not a massive antitrust, right? I mean, like I say, maybe it is on a local scale in terms of just Ireland. But if Ireland's in the European Union, surely two flight providers, two travel operators based in Ireland, surely that shouldn't matter if they're still sourcing the whole of Europe. But they managed to block that off. So let's say Microsoft do get the Bethesda deal thrown out. Does that look bad on Microsoft? Does this put... That's what I said. Does it have egg on the face for their day? Does it change everything? I mean, that you kind of have to feel that this was announced in September. We're now in February. That's 5 months-ish that Microsoft have been working towards this. They will have shitloads invested in this at this point. Not just the meetings and stuff like that. They will have marketing plans. They will have ad spend planned out. They will have social media trailers and banners and stuff. So, I mean, it would hurt, and it will weaken their product lineup. Apologies for all the jingles. That's maybe changing things. We're now in the region of Brazil. Nice. Can the EU block EA's acquisition of Codemasters? Technically, they could. I don't think they will. But then again, EA is pretty big. I mean, Codemasters is one studio acquisition, whereas ZeniMax Media is one huge agency. Basically an industry of Microsoft buying ZeniMax Media, which is essentially another industry. So that's convergence of two separate entities of size, whereas Codemasters is a much smaller thing that can be absorbed. So they could, in theory, they won't. That won't happen. Is that because you'd like Codemasters to not be an EA title? An EA brand, should I say? He wants a monopoly on screen time. Well, I've got it. So there you go. EU regulators have that. I'm going to drop out the call. And then try again. So it knows it's there, and it knows when Bibby's accepted. It's just not actually connecting. I'm out of ideas. Dollop time. Yeah, I think so too. I'll kill that. I'll give it a go. You go grab yourself a brew, Bib. You can get involved in the chat. Okay, we'll continue with a one-man show. Just can't get the staff. West says, always my fault. I mean, there you go, West. It was fine until we joined West here. It wasn't. It was broken before then. But anyway, let's move ahead. We've kind of exhausted the avenues of Microsoft. But it's an interesting show because if we think about it, the Microsoft deal could in theory be dead. It probably won't. The likelihood is that the European Union will allow Microsoft to take over ZeniMax Media as we all kind of expect. That is what we kind of feel. But there's a potential that it could be dead. Speaking of things dying, and I'm not talking about, well, this guy who's no longer here. I'm not talking about Billy's call. Everything is dying at the moment. So the ZeniMax Media potentially, the buyout could potentially die. Our call with Bibby is dead. And something else which we kind of have been talking about for about 15 months looks almost certain to be dead. The next news article, written by Matt Wales at Eurogamer, says that Google shutting down internal Stadia studios offering streaming tech to publishers, but existing service will remain available. So not 15 months, there you go, 14 months. So just 14 months after Stadia's high-profile launch, Google is embarking on a major rethink of its streaming service strategy, which will see it close down all internal game development and begin providing its tech to third-party publishers. Stadia General Manager Phil Harrison confirmed the closure of the company's two internal game studios based in Montreal and Los Angeles in a new blog post, signaling an end to its console-like ambitions of creating flagship Stadia-exclusive titles to drive adoption of the platform. Creating best-in-class games from the ground up takes many years and significant investment, and the cost is going up exponentially, explained Harrison of the decision. Given our focus on building on the proven technology of Stadia, as well as deepening our business partnerships, we've decided that we will not be investing further in bringing exclusive content from our internal development team, SG&E, beyond any near-term planned games. Google says most developers affected by the studio closures will be given new roles in the company. Kotaku reports around 150 jobs will likely be impacted, but says Jade Raymond, who joined as head of Stadia Games and Entertainment following her departure from EA's Montreal-based Motive Studios in 2018, has decided to leave Google to pursue other opportunities. Despite these changes, Stadia's game streaming service will continue to operate, albeit without its own big-ticket titles to draw in crowds. Additionally, Google is planning to shop its Stadia tech around for use by other video game companies looking to offer their own streaming platforms. We believe this is the best path to building Stadia into a long-term, sustainable business that helps grow the industry, writes Harrison. Stadia, of course, got off to a rocky start when it launched in November 2019 amid skepticism of its subscription-based business model, missing features, and accusations of broken early promises. And while the arrival of its basic free tier last April seemed like it might improve the streaming service's fortunes, it soon faced stiff competition from Microsoft and Amazon. Whether Google's strategic refocusing will be enough to assure Stadia's continued existence in the long term remains to be seen. So, Stadia is dead, basically. Let me just get the discussing now on the screen. This is usually where I would ask Bibby his thoughts, so I could put this in here. But Bibby's dead, so there you go. Do you know what? It just about fits, so we'll leave it. Google's shutting down Stadia Studios. What do you guys think? Is this a surprise to any of you guys? Could you have seen Stadia's internal studios shutting down? Can you see Stadia still existing as an entity without its own exclusive first-party titles? What do you guys think? Magic Man says, Codemasters is a mixture of studios as they own Assetto Corsa or something. Isn't Assetto Corsa a title? Is it is it published by 505? I think I can't remember. Have you tried turning it off and on again? I have. I have. Put it in rice. Everything is dying. Just like Man U's Premier League title hopes after losing to Saints tonight. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. What we're going to do is we're going to lose to Saints tonight, and then next week, international and recognised referee regulation bodies are going to say, "Oh, you shouldn't have lost then." So there you go. Google Stadia. Stadia. There we go. Google Stadia. No surprise whatsoever, says Iceman. It's a surprise they dropped this so soon, says Madge. I mean, I don't think anyone is really surprised that Google Stadia are doing something significant. I genuinely didn't expect this right now, if I'm being honest. The fact that Jade Raymond, who was recruited from Motive, EA Motive, in 2018. The fact that they had Jade Raymond, Phil Harrison, and big names in meant that if they shut this project down too soon, they will be seen by the industry as making a huge failure. So I thought that they were going to keep plugging, if I'm being honest. I didn't think it was going to be a success, but I thought 3, 4, 5 years of trying and throwing money into a void, I thought that might happen to try and blunt force it into existence. They clearly are spending a shitload and realise that that was never going to work. So I thought, okay, well, what can we do in the meantime? And just changed tack. I think it's not necessarily a bad thing. If you look beyond it, the fact that Stadia provided a god-awful system with shitloads of faults, poor pricing packages, and cross-play with some games, but very little cross-progression. So you could say start playing PUBG. There we go. It's a game that I play all the time. PUBG on my PlayStation. I can play it on Stadia, but I get none of the cosmetics that I've had before. I get none of the progression that I've had before. I start afresh on Stadia. It's just like, okay, well, what's the point in that? I'll just play it on my PlayStation. You're not offering me anything new there. So what can they do to offer me something new? Oh, well, let's give you our exclusive Stadia games. Oh, okay, well, that will get me on your platform. And then when I'm on there, playing your exclusive games, when PUBG 2 comes out, maybe I start playing that on Stadia instead of my PlayStation. But their games were few and far between. They had a couple early on, weren't anything to write home about, and now they aren't doing anything of that going forward. So how do they bring new people into that platform? If you're playing on your PlayStation or your Xbox or your PC, and all of those games are on Stadia but nothing extra, why would you pick that up as a platform? So, yeah, I mean, they're relying on third-party developers. I mean, will they be looking to fund third-party developers to create titles for them? Maybe. That's probably the only way that they can have any real sort of exclusives, because the technology they're working on, in theory, is incredible. In practice, it's not. So the technology isn't something that's going to pull you in. If they keep working on that technology, as they've mentioned, they may look at There we go. Additionally, Google is planning to shop its Stadia tech around for use by other video game companies looking to offer their own streaming platforms. That, for me, is the future of Stadia. If you're reading between the lines, they're saying, yeah, we're keeping some of our developers and we're jiggling things around and we still want to keep the Stadia service going. Yeah. That is the death knell for Stadia as it is. So anyone that has the Stadia controller, i.e. us, we have two. Nice. Well, that was a waste of money. Anyone that has Stadia controllers, you have just invested your money in something that is gonna die. I think that's pretty much... I would be surprised if that doesn't happen now. What Stadia will do, though, is tie itself around, and Microsoft are looking at xCloud. Maybe Stadia then go to PlayStation and say, okay, you've got PS Now. It's okay. it's not Game Pass and xCloud, is it, though? So maybe Stadia could be absorbed into the PlayStation brand. I think something like that is more likely to happen. Maybe not with PlayStation. Maybe it's on a brand by brand basis. Maybe they start working on cloud options for individual titles. Maybe individual studios. It could go that way. But that for me is where Stadia's future is for now. They don't have the legs. They never had the legs. Never mind they've lost the legs. They didn't have them. They didn't even get off to a running start. And at this point, losing key directors, losing development studios, relying on external studios, they've not even been able to pull anything external in of real note. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 was included as a launch game, obviously. Stadia was delayed. Red Dead was Red Dead delayed? I can't remember. Was it just Stadia? I can't remember. But you'd need that as an exclusive game. Cyberpunk should have been an exclusive game if they wanted to sell Stadia, and they can't pull that sort of stuff in. So yeah, it's gone. Stadia is a flop. The fact, says Madge, Gary says, the fact that Stadia isn't on the new Chromecast devices speaks volumes. It does. It absolutely does. The fact that Stadia isn't on the Chromecast devices is like having a PlayStation conference without any mention of Vita. Someone says, actually, you didn't mention Vita, and they go, we're really proud of Vita. Anyway, carry on back to other things that aren't Vita. That's it. PlayStation are proud of it. They are proud of what they've achieved, but they're still not going to mention it unless you mention it first. And that's the same thing with Stadia. We're proud of our technology and our streaming tech. Okay, are you going to include it on the Chromecast? Anyway, look at that over there. That's not Stadia. Yeah, that shows you that if it's not front and center, if it's not even back center or back on the edge, never mind front and center, then it's gone. It's gone. Seems like that they're trying to recover their costs by pimping out their tech, but aren't capable of doing anything themselves. Absolutely. I mean, their tech is good. Their ideas are good. They just came in from an outside tech perspective. Because if you think of what Google knows and what Google can deliver, what Google does. Actually, I never shouted out. Alex, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in. Hosted radio. I must have missed that one in the middle of all the drama with Discord. Thank you very much for the host too. Yeah, Stadia, what they can deliver technically is incredible. What Google can deliver for Stadia is incredible. But they came in with big dick energy, didn't they? They came and go, oh, okay, we're Google. I don't know if you know that we can make glasses that can, have like UIs, like heads-up displays and stuff. And it's like, yeah, did that succeed? No, it didn't. Google Glass didn't succeed. But we in theory could do it. Oh, nice. In theory, you could make video games and be first-party providers, in theory. But the practice of doing that, understanding the industry, understanding gamers, understanding platforms, just by giving it the Noah's Ark element of build it and they will come, just because you made Stadia doesn't mean people are going to use it. Users and consumers are... I mean, that was the 50s. Look, there's the Stadia, you need it. Okay, I'll buy it. No, now people need reasons for needing it. And if you've got a system like PlayStation that all your mates have got, nice, wonderful, and then you've got a system like Xbox Live and Game Pass, which is gone from being the front runner to being on the back burner to being some absolute behemoth that's picking up momentum left, right, and centre, as well as studios potentially left, right, and centre, then Stadia just had nothing going for them. So they came in with the big dick energy, but sadly not the big dick. So yeah, their tech though, does still excite me. We invested in Stadia because we thought, okay, the idea of cloud gaming, just taking a dongle and a controller and being able to jump on and play console quality games through the air, it's still the future. It still is the future for me. It just needs to be better. Stadia isn't even in the poster to get airbrushed out now. Touche. Google with Stadia was like that Bugs Life scene. Don't look into the light. I can't help it. Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, let's move ahead. So, Microsoft's deal could be dead. The Bethesda ZeniMax one. Google's Stadia pretty much is dead. What about the stories around getting a new Switch model anytime soon? Well, let me tell you that story pretty much is dead. Well, kind of. Don Peppiatt at VG247 says, don't expect upgraded Nintendo Switch models anytime soon. Nintendo has assured fans that they won't be seeing a Nintendo Switch Pro or upgraded Switch hardware in the immediate future. During a private Q&A that followed on from the company's financial results briefing earlier today, Nintendo has formally stated that we won't be seeing any sort of upgraded Nintendo Switch hardware in the coming 12 months. As per Bloomberg reporter Takashi Mochizuki, who was present at the briefing, the company is, and I quote, not planning to make an announcement anytime soon when it comes to new devices. This was echoed by industry analyst David Gibson, who said that Nintendo noted that there is, quote, no new model plan, end quote, beyond the red and blue Mario Switch and the Monster Hunter Rise Switch that we've already heard about. Gibson goes on to note that Nintendo appears to be destocking inventory of its hardware to record low levels, and notes that it's suspicious of the company to do that if there's no upgrade plan in the works. We've heard before that Doug Bowser, Nintendo of America president, believes the Nintendo Switch is at the midpoint of its life cycle, whilst downplaying reports of new hardware arriving to revitalise the Switch ecosystem. A previous report from Bloomberg suggests that Nintendo had asked devs to make their games 4K ready for an upcoming Switch hardware refresh, though contradicting the company's official comments. For now, Nintendo appears to be reticent to announce anything formally. We're just going to have to wait a bit longer to see what the company is planning. Bear with me, I need to blow my nose. And we're back in the room. So if you're after a Switch Pro, if you take Nintendo's word for it, there isn't one coming anytime soon. Do we believe Doug Bowser? I mean, his name is Bowser. Can you really believe someone in a Nintendo sense when his name is Bowser? I know that's something that I will mention every time we talk about Nintendo, but still. I don't buy it. I genuinely don't buy it. I mean, it's kind of hard because this is an official briefing. If the company has nothing to announce, they don't have any outward messaging regarding a new Switch model, the company could have shitloads that they're working on, but working on and being almost ready to announce is not the same as having something to announce. So at the moment, they don't have anything to announce. Tomorrow is a different day. So just because the company says they don't have anything anytime soon, what does anytime soon mean? Is anytime soon today, tomorrow, to the end of the week? Is next week not soon? Is that a bit further away? There is nothing dead cert committed in there. And I think if Nintendo comes out and says, yes, we are working on better hardware for the future, they won't do that, because if they do that, people buying, the people with a wad of cash in their hand at a till, just about to hand it over to the cashier, and they go, what? New Switch? Okay, I'll put that back in my pocket then, thank you very much. So it's just the obvious statement for me. Nintendo saying don't expect upgraded models anytime soon is because they want you to keep buying the non-upgraded models right now, whilst they continue working on the upgraded models. Does this official announcement about nothing coming anytime soon make me feel that the Switch Pro isn't in the works? No. No, we've had so many stories about the Switch Pro coming. We've seen coding inside the system accounting for new Switch models. We've seen stories around Nintendo asking developers to start factoring in 4K in the development of their titles. There's all of these, take with a pinch. But But by the time you've got shitloads of pinches of salt and you're sat on a mountain of salt, it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, I mean, there's a lot going on here. And just because they've said no, that's just deflection. That's deflection. It's not committal. It's not, there will not be. Nothing anytime soon, he says, with a Switch Pro stuck up the back of his shirt. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Let me have a brew. 1 second. Gary says, when you make 700 billion yen in the last 6 months of 2020, I suppose you don't really need to change anything. Well, that is true. I mean, when you sell more consoles, we found just yesterday that the Switch has overtaken the 3DS. Was it the 3DS? I think it was 3DS. And then is bearing down on the DS family, the 2DS family of consoles. It's absolutely got momentum. It doesn't need to change anything. So why come out now? Exactly right, Gary. Why come out now and say something that is contrary to that? Why come out and rock the boat? Leave the boat as it is. When the boat starts taking on water, that's when you whip out the Switch Pro. For now, the Switch Pro can just remain behind the scenes. You can carry on developing or testing or working on chipsets. Maybe they've got all of that sorted and they're just mass-producing shitloads of stock. Wherever they are in that is something different. Don't upset the status quo. As we spoke about yesterday, we're rocking all over the world. There you go, bit of status quo for you. Mad says, you could be cynical and say it's them saying go buy the Switch now. Then they roll out the next model to the annoyance of some. Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's cynical. I would say it's... if you look at it from a consumer's perspective, all right, then fair enough. But as... looking at it from someone that has a business, if you have a large amount of stock or any amount of stock inventory that's still in production, you, as a product provider, wouldn't want to weaken your stance. That could mean that you are sat with a shitload of stock. So by saying, oh yeah, all this stuff that we want you to buy could be shit, I mean, you wouldn't say that as someone that's selling that. So yeah, it could be annoying for consumers that are going out to buy right now. But I'm thinking if you're buying a Switch at this point, you're either casual and in terms of a Switch game, in terms of, oh, it's a nice console, I'll pick it up. I didn't pick it up in the last 4 years because I'm not that bothered, but now I'll try. So if a new one comes out, you're probably not that bothered anyway. Or you need a replacement console. In that case, if you buy a replacement console and a new one comes out, that's a bit sore. But it's just one of those things in terms of you have to work with what is currently available. Now, Lou Leeds Lad, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome into the stream. So yeah, that I wouldn't say is a negative. It's a good business decision. I would say people like us though should be out there going, yeah, there's another one coming. There's definitely another one coming. Just because they're saying it isn't and saying to buy a Switch, they want you to buy a Switch because they have business targets, which is not unrealistic. But we can just say, just hold. If you've got a Switch and you want to get a new one, you want a new battery one, hold. The better battery ones will drop in price. The lights, I said they will drop in value, maybe not in price, because there will be a Pro model coming. So hold if you don't need to get one just now, because I still believe that one will come by the end of the year. I'm saying I still believe. I didn't even mention that marketing forecasters from 3 different agencies forecasted that a Pro model will be coming before the end of 2021. So all of the bits of evidence from within Nintendo's ranks, plus external industry analysts who have been speaking to, obviously, manufacturers, gauging their thoughts, and then using that, as well as looking at marketing projections to say that they feel it will be coming before the end of the year. Just because Nintendo said nothing's coming soon, still feel it's coming. Very true. I still expect the Pro to be announced in the autumn. They'll never announce something yet with the new Mario Switch coming out soon. 100%. You don't let stock get low unless there's something coming, unless they were hit badly by COVID delays and aren't saying anything. Exactly. Mr. Precision says, I had a Switch for about 4 months and sold it. I was more in love with the thought of playing it while in bed or on the bog. Turns out I never played it at all. Got full money's back though, which was great. Nice. Yeah, we've got one. I got it. We got it for a Christmas kind of family gift. We usually get, when it comes to Christmas, I get gifts, Danielle gets gifts, Chloe gets gifts, but then we get something that's a bit more central for the family. So the Switch was that 2 years-ish ago, and it worked out quite nicely because I had like long-ass flights. We had E3 and PES event in Argentina, so it worked out good for that kind of stuff. But yeah, beyond that, didn't really get used. Hasn't really been used. We've used it a few times. There are some good games on it, though. There are. Starting Luigi's Mansion 3 thinking, this is fucking amazing. But started it last January, I think. I think it was. And then haven't touched it since. The idea of it is more useful for me and for Precision, but a lot of people genuinely are loving it. So yeah, it's not what I would put my time into. I would be more likely to pick up this and sit and play it on my PS5 or play on the PC than my Switch, especially whilst we're in lockdown, because, you know, better graphical fidelity. But that said, they've still sold more than the 3DS, so they're doing something okay. I bet Nintendo still have a tooling fulfillment to hit with the current model, hence the new Mario Switch model and whatnot. Once they've finished that tooling contract, then they can go full steam ahead with the next model. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that anything of that ilk is actually in place in terms of they have commitments to deliver certain elements, certain amounts. I wouldn't be surprised if they could transfer some of that stuff over to the new models as well. So it could be one or the other. It could be tooling. It could be the fact that the new models aren't ready. It could be a bit of both. But yeah, we're still going to get at least an announcement of the Switch before the end of the year, if not a Switch Pro before the end of the year, if not the actual Switch Pro itself. You heard it here. It's at this point where Bibby would be fighting the Switch's side. Exactly. Bibby would be like, yeah, it's proper good, mate. I've got 2 games. One of them's Skyrim. Is Skyrim on the Switch? It probably is. And if it isn't, Bibby's found a way to play it on there. All right, mate, my name's Bibby. What you saying, Bib? No, Graham. All right, nice, yeah, nice. That's what Bibby sounds like, by the way. And then we'd get, wanker. Anyway, let's move ahead. To another story. This, though, rather than being focused on things dying and not being available, is the exact opposite. Some good news for those of you with a PS5 today, as Matt Wales at Eurogamer says, God of War is getting a 60 FPS / 4K enhanced performance graphics mode on PS5, arriving tomorrow in a free update. So God of War, the 2018 one that is, will be getting a welcome visual boost on the PS5 tomorrow, the 2nd of February. Which is interesting. Oh, it's been updated. Okay, so it's out today. There you go. Nice. Courtesy of Sony Santa Monica's new enhanced performance experience update. As explained in a new developer blog, tomorrow's God of War update will introduce a brand new default graphics mode option designed to get the most out of the increased performance capabilities of the PlayStation 5. Excuse me. Up until now, PlayStation 5 owners playing God of War have been able to take advantage of the 2 graphics mode introduced in the PlayStation Pro version of the game. One favouring performance, which unlocks the frame rate, but restricts resolution to 1080p, and the other offering a checkerboard 4K resolution locked to 30 FPS. PS5 already enjoyed a bit of PS5 already enjoyed a bit of a frame rate boost compared to the PS4 Pro while in favour of performance mode, but Sony Santa Monica's incoming God of War update will introduce a new default setting, the aforementioned enhanced performance experience mode that offers the best of both worlds, syncing 60 FPS at a 4K checkerboard resolution of 2160p. Those suspicious of change will also have the option to select Original Performance Experience, which is the equivalent of PlayStation 4's Favor Resolution mode, delivering 4K checkerboard resolution synced to 30 FPS. God of War's free PS5 update will be available to anyone that owns a physical or digital version of the PS4 release, and to players who obtain the game via Sony's PlayStation Plus collection. Oh, I didn't even know that last bit. That's nice. So if you have God of War already, the obviously 2018 one, not the old school God of War, you will get the enhanced performance mode for PS5. Not only if you have the game, but if you have a PS5 and you have the PlayStation Plus collection version of the game, you can get through that, which is pretty good in a Metal Gear sense. Regarding Baby Switch games, Iceman says one Skyrim, the other's PGE. Gary says, I love my Switch, amazing device. Madge says, does it say the size of the update file? It doesn't. If anyone has that information, actually, let me check the tweet. No, it's not in Sony Santa Monica's tweet either. Are you looking to download, Madge? What are your thoughts? Will anyone be playing through God of War in 60 FPS 4K? Have you all played through it and you're not going to touch it again? What are your thoughts on this? Please let me know in the chat. This is where I want your impressions. Your thoughts and impressions, because Bibby's not here to give me his. Whilst that is on, let me just wrap this up with another bit of news. See if I can find a good site. Do you know what? Let's go local. Manchester Evening News. Nice. More options. Reject all of your cookies. Get in the bin. There we go. So God of War is getting a 60 FPS 4K update today. It should be available today, so you can play the game on a PS5 with 60 FPS and 4K. As well as that, if you're a PlayStation user, we have covered this previously, but I do want to give you a bit of a wrap-up. This is written by Alice Irving for the Manchester Evening News, and it says the free PlayStation Plus games announced February 2021. Obviously, we've covered this before, so I'm going to skip through the actual writing, but Destruction All-Stars PS5, Control Ultimate Edition, which is PS5 and PS4, and then Concrete Genie, which is the PS4 edition, which you can also play on your PS5. You can redeem all of those now. The new games are available in PS Plus, so make sure you get them. I was actually watching Destruction All-Stars earlier on, watching MC Fixer. Feel free to go and drop MC Fixer a follow. Do you know what? If he's still on, we will drop MC Fixer a raid after this. He's one of our fellow Insert Coin streamers, and he has been playing Destruction All-Stars this morning. Anyway, I dropped in to see what it was like because we were speaking about Destruction All-Stars the other day and whether we thought it would be good or an absolute pile of shite. And it actually looked okay. It looked like it could be fun. I'm not saying I would have the same opinion after 6 hours of playing, but it looked good watching him play it. But yeah, make sure you get your games. Get them today, and that's it. You don't have to worry about it for the rest of the month. The job's a good one. But God of War... exclamation mark. Oh, is chatbot not on? Chatbot? Connect. Oh, my token's expired. Ooh. Okay. The one day that chatbot is actually open and the token's expired. Good plan. Let me see. Let me do this. Oh. Bear with. Boom. Connected. There you go, Wes. Try it again. Exclamation mark insert coin should work. For those of you who don't know, we are part of the Insert Coin stream family, by the way. The hashtag coin army. So we do stream occasionally on the Insert Coin clothing channels, and we get merch from them, which is lovely. And you can get merch with a discount if you want. Exclamation mark insert coin should give you that code. Gary says, God of War. I don't think I'll go back to it fully. I might play it briefly to test it out, but that's about it. See, I never really played. I played through the first hour. We did, I think it was our 500 follower giveaway a million years ago. So we played it on the day. Maybe it was even less than that. Maybe it was like 250 followers. Anyway, we played it on stream for a little bit. Craig was dressed as God of War as it actually came out in the studio. Craig and Bridie played a little bit of it. I came back in, played a little bit of it. We gave a copy of the game away live on stream. It was a really good stream. It was nice. But I haven't played anything of it since, so I still have to play through it, which is good news for me because I haven't played through it all. I get to experience it in 4K 60 FPS spectacularness on the 55-inch TV. First time. So that's good news for me. expire just like Man U's midfield tonight after a tough 90 minutes of being owned. yeah. But thank you very much, Wes, for typing in !insert coin. So if you missed it, God of War is getting an update. There are free PlayStation games that are available for you to download now. Just a word for people that may be on PS5. I redeemed the free PlayStation games today, but it still has Man-Eater, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and whatever the other one was, last month's games in the store on the PS5. I had to go in and search for the games individually, and it would let me redeem them all. No doubt that will update. The changes probably just haven't propagated, but you can download the free PS Plus games now, even though it doesn't show you them in the PS menu. And that is it. That's the end of the show. I'm not going to beat around the bush because we're dolloping. We lost a bib halfway through, so I'm going to wrap things up straight away. I am going to finish off today with the message that we won't be back on. It is Tuesday, so we don't do any additional streams on a Tuesday. Greedfall, there we go. That was the other game. Thanks, Madge. I think I redeemed it. Probably not going to play it. Yeah, there will be no additional streams today. I am going to drop a raid. Let me just check to see if MC Fixer still is on, actually. So if you guys aren't busy, if you just want to travel along with the raid. Oh, there's my voice. He is on. Okay, we will go say hello to MC Fixer. So if you don't mind sticking around for the raid, we will drop a raid on MC Fixer. We won't be back with any additional content today because me and Bib have got work things to do. But we will be back tomorrow, 10 a.m.-ish, with the scoop. If you do want to get involved with the scoop, as always, as Bibby usually mentions, you can get involved. You can influence the show by sending us your suggestions for news to be covered. You can do that by using any of the social media channels. We are at Ice Cream Uploads across the board. You can just send us the link to the story. And, you know what, your thoughts and impressions at the same time, if you want as well, or you can join us live at 10 a.m.-ish the very next day, and we can go through that story with you on air. You don't have to just do it by social media. !Discord in the chat will give you a link to our Discord where you can share the article in there. There is a section for the scoop where you can drop it in, and a number of you guys do that already, which we massively appreciate. Madge, you beautiful man, dropping in the social links in the chat, as well as the Discordage. I love you very much, very much, very much. Okay, we are going to drop a raid on MC Fixer. So if you want to get yourself a few extra channel points, then stick along with the raid. You get more for that. Feel free to drop in and say Ice Cream Uploads have sent you, just so that you can get some love. And that is it. We're going to disappear. Have yourselves a fantastic day. We'll see you at 10 a.m.-ish tomorrow morning. Until then, stay frosty.